Hey everybody, Jess here. So if you caught us this morning or if you caught us live, you're going to be like, why is Jess in a different room? And what is this all about? Well, technology was not on our side today. And even during our recording, it glitched out on us. So here's the long and short of it. When we got done with our video, it kept being live and I couldn't find it on the back end for me to download it. So Alysce is taking more time out of her day, which I'm so grateful for, to re-record this with us. So if you watched us live, we're pretty much going to cover the same stuff. And if you are catching us on a replay, welcome. This is so good. It's just like a bonus. I get to see Alysce twice in a day.
Yeah.
So day 5 of our virtual summit, we are all about relationships today. And I don't know about you, but being in my house, like this is day 4 of not being like around other people. I live by myself. So I haven't hugged anybody in 7 days. It's weird how you keep track of that. But we're here with Alysce. She owns Open Hearts Club and we are so happy to have her. She's here with us and she supports singles who are totally fed up with heartbreak and really want to find love. I think that's so beautiful, Alysce. Thank you for lead on that and taking the charge. Yes, so welcome. We're here to talk all about relationships, whether you're single, you're in a committed relationship, you're married, you have kids, the whole gamut. So, Alysce, tell us everything. Give us your brain.
Yes.
When you hear relationships and how you can serve and help, what comes to mind?
I think the first thing is it's possible, but it's almost impossible to have a healthy relationship with someone else without having a healthy relationship with yourself first.
Yeah.
That's my number one rule that I hold close to my own heart, and I really have my clients live up to as well, as how are you nurturing yourself inside and out, so that you can then reflect that into all of your relationships, whether it's family, friends, or a partner.
Self-love is so beautiful. I read an article a couple months ago about how self-love is actually happiness. And I never thought of it that way until I read that article. And I'm like, dang, it totally is. And I feel like that's why when you hear the word self-care, it's such a buzzword right now. But when you hear it, a lot of people think I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to go get my hair done, spa time. And then other people are like, no, that's not what it is for me. And I've always been curious why that is. But I think it's that happiness component. It's everyone's different about what makes them happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So good. So what are some ways that people can practice that self-care that we're talking about in a way that reflects who they are and their values? What are some tips that you have for folks?
One of my favorite tips is to kind of reflect back on what did you love doing as a child? And then start incorporating some of that into your daily life now. Did you love to paint? Did you love to read? Did you love to dance? Did you love to sing? Because that child is still very much inside of us. It's just somewhere along the way, someone told us that that wasn't cool, or, that someone told us that it wasn't cool to do that. So we stopped doing it.
Or somebody laughed at us.
Yeah, someone laughed at you, or you got busy and you suddenly kind of had that disconnect between what really brought you joy. So that's my favorite way. I myself, I've been.
So what way resonates with you when you were a kid that you just kind of lost as you became an adult?
So I have 2 that I've really been tapping into. Dancing. I danced for 12 years and I haven't done that for a number of years. And so since I've been in quarantine, I've been learning a new dance every day.
I've been watching you.
And some days they're not great. And other days I'm like, dang, I've still got it. But every day it lights me up. It brings me joy. And it brings me back to that part of me that sometimes gets forgotten.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah.
I just had to ask. I was curious.
Yeah.
So what's another way that people can really delve into that self-love, reconnecting with themselves in this time of like sheer like lonely, like not loneliness, but like we get so caught up in the doing that now we don't have the doing to take it away. Or like for me, my crutch is go walk through Target or go to the mall or, like just go look at pretty things and not really connect with what would be best for me. So what are some ways that people can like really dive into that right now?
Yeah, I think one of the ways is to really kind of dive into the feelings right now. A lot of times we do things to like mask the feelings, to push the feelings to the side. I'll scroll Instagram so that I don't have to think about the busy day or any of the emotions that are sitting inside of me.
I actually just downloaded a new extension on my Chrome, and I'm so excited about it. It's the Facebook. It's a feed extinguisher, so it like you don't see any of your feed.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll send you a link to it. Like,
yeah,
it's so productive today because I don't get caught in the feed in the scroll.
Totally. Yeah, and so I think that my favorite way to reconnect with yourself is to dive into those feelings, especially the feelings you've been avoiding, and really like hone in on what comes up when you are quiet with yourself, and then reflect on that.
What if that's really hard for people? Or, if somebody's watching and listening, they're like, oh yeah, no, I've done that. or like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Like, what advice would you give for them if they're kind of in that place of, that seems really scary?
If it seems really scary, do it anyways. If it seems really scary, that means that you need to dig deep. And maybe if journaling isn't your thing, that's fine too. But find a way that helps you so that you can connect with the feelings.
Journaling is so beautiful. Like it is such a beautiful journey to watch your life unfold on paper.
I agree.
Earlier in our earlier call, I mentioned that I was cleaning and I just found my diary from 6th grade, and that was so enlightening to see what Jess was like in 6th grade. Like I was reading this and I could feel it. I could feel back to that time. And so watching, and even like when I went through my divorce, I documented all of that. And now I'm documenting the pandemic and how I feel through all of this. So just watching growth or stagnation or hitting back on the same triggers, journaling is so cool.
I love that, Jess. I love journaling for that. What you just hit it on the head, like the reflecting aspect of it all.
Yeah, it's so incredible. And what we put ourselves through sometimes without noticing it. And you read it, I'm like flipping pages and I'm like, oh God, like I did the same thing here and I did it here. And then also to have people that you can talk to. I really feel like that's important too, like having safe space. If this is something that's like really scary, having those safe people that you can go to at least test the waters a little bit. I know that's what I did when I started my journey, is like finding those people who you knew that it was safe to go to them. They wouldn't judge you, instead of like telling the whole world about it right away. Just finding your people. I think that's really important too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also important to say that it's okay to feel all the feelings. Especially during a time like this. There isn't a book. There will be after this on how to survive a pandemic, but right now there isn't one. And so feeling the good, the bad, and the ugly is a-okay. And I think that there are times for myself, I can only speak for myself, that I've been like, no, you need to think positive. You need to think positive. And it's like, no, you know what? Right now, just it sucks. And I can't be positive, and I'm going to give myself those 5 minutes to just cry and be eat my chocolate and be like, this sucks. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to pull through.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Just acknowledging even the feelings that don't necessarily feel great.
That's like resilience 101. We're all like, I was thinking about it today after we got off our call, and I'm like, gosh, like the first time we learned to drive a car, we didn't just go drive a car. Like it took us months, and people telling us, taking courses, sitting, passenger side. So just think of us through this pandemic. Like we're so hard on ourselves. We think that we have to have it all figured out when we're like a week and a half in at our pace. So I just putting that out there. Like we just have to give ourselves grace.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. I can just see you like sitting and eating chocolate and crying, and then being like, okay, I'm great. Here we go.
Done with that. On to the next. Here we go.
Oh, so true. So is there any other tips or tidbits or things that have been coming up for you or your clients that you've noticed on the side of like really building that relationship with self that you want to impart to the folks watching?
I'm trying to think that,
I mean, you hit on really great ones. So
yeah, I think another one too, something that I like to reflect on and go back to is our boundaries. My favorite questions for myself and my clients are, who am I? Who am I not? Getting really clear on what you stand for, what you don't. And then looking at your relationships. What do I tolerate? What do I not? And really looking at that and seeing where are you standing tall and standing true, and where are you not? And in the areas that you're not, why is that? Asking yourself that.
Yeah. So like, do you have an example of that, or how we can put it into like pandemic terms, on how boundaries affect us in every day?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think for singles and people in relationships. So for those in a relationship, you might need an extra 10 minutes in the morning to collect yourself. And that might look like having a conversation with your significant other and asking for help and asking, hey, I need these extra 5 minutes. Can you, if you have children, take the kids, or if you don't have children, just can I have those 5 minutes? Because that's you setting a boundary for your own self. Maybe it's so that you can meditate. Maybe it's so that you can take a shower. Like whatever it is that you're doing in those 5 minutes, making sure that you set that boundary with your partner, that's a huge step for yourself.
Yeah.
For singles, setting a boundary, I'm just, for myself, how many times I open the refrigerator, that's a personal boundary right now.
Yeah, so true.
Another personal boundary is for other singles is, do you find yourself wanting to reach out to your ex during this time?
Whew, yes. I've seen so much on social media about that.
Yeah, pandemic is not a time to reach out to your ex. If you're already friends before pandemic, perfect, great. But if you haven't had any contact and then the pandemic hit and you're reaching for your phone, then that's set a hard boundary for yourself.
So true.
Or at least reflect back on, why am I reaching out? Is it for the right reasons?
Yep, that inner knowing. Yeah. Is it aligned with, kind of like what you were talking about in the beginning? Like, is it aligned with who I am and my values? And
totally.
Yeah. Or is it a crutch or
right.
Like a panic move, right? Like, yeah, I go to my phone for a lot. So I've been on Instagram way more than I ever have. Like, Instagram is not my platform. I know you're so Instagram, like, amazing, but I'm like, I don't know what to do on this platform. So I've just been like looking at other people and sending messages and chatting, and yeah, it's been like a whole new space for me to go to. But again, it can be a crutch so easily.
Totally. I think I just chatted with a bunch of friends on Sunday, and we all looked up our I took off my weekly remind. I was like, I don't need iPhone shaming me for my internet use during a pandemic. But my one friend, hers was up 75%.
Oh my gosh. I could totally see that. I haven't gotten mine yet, but usually it's not. Like I took Facebook off of my phone, so I just have Instagram now, but I could totally see how that's going to be a side effect of all of this.
Yeah. We're going to need some detoxing.
Come to the nest.
Right? But also there's no shame if that's what's getting you through the pandemic.
So true. I love that. Those are amazing tips. Love it. So, I just have some questions. You've hit on a lot of them. But like the dating and navigating being single and, being in a relationship, having children, I mean, that brings a lot of stressors and, being single, it can really bring up a lot of like loneliness, or like if your spouse or significant other works in a different state, that can bring up some loneliness. So, what have you noticed people are coming to you with, or maybe your clients, or not that we have to get specific on that, but like what's coming up for you in your work?
I think the biggest thing that I've been reminding people is to reach out to your connections, whether that's family, friends, neighbors. Reach out and let them know that you're alone through this. Because that creates then also them checking in on you. They know that as a single, you're alone, you're living alone, you're doing it alone, and they're going to check in on you to make sure everything's okay. For those in a relationship, married or not, communication is your best friend right now. And also not only communicating, but also having a space that can be yours. Whether it be an office or the basement or the garage, somewhere that you can go that's away from the kids, away from your partner, so that you can take a couple deep breaths. When you're confined in an area, everyone starts to kind of go for each other because we're like in these little cages, and we're like, we can't, you're on top of me, get away from me. So really having designated spaces that you can go to that are yours.
I love that. In my mind, I saw like Big Brother, like we're like the TV show Big Brother, like we're all in this little confined space, and like alliances are forming. It's only 3 days.
Right. That's exactly how it is right now, I feel like.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But at least I'm not being filmed all day, every day. So, so good. Those are amazing tips. And, you and I, this morning when we were on the original live, we were talking about how even living alone, you can really need space from like your pets or your animals, or the checking up and communicating. So I love all of those tips. I feel like they can hit home for a lot of people.
And now that it's warmer out, get outside. Outside is an immediate mood booster. So if you're feeling cooped up, if you're feeling like you're at your wits with your spouse or your kids, get out, go for a walk. It's getting warmer out, thank goodness. So just get that fresh air, go for a walk around the block. It'll shift everything for you.
So good. Well, was there anything else from this morning or right now in our conversation that you wanted to make sure that you chatted about, or you might have, not chatted about it this morning, since it's like bonus time with Alysce and Jess?
Yeah. I think trying to think, I'm just looking over.
Yeah, we've hit on a lot of awesome subjects. I mean, everything that we've talked about, I know has hit home for me. And even when we were talking, it's just like hour by hour, just like give yourself grace. Feeling hour by hour, because we've never gone through this. Like a pandemic is big stuff, and
totally
we are all collectively marching through this into the unknown, basically.
Yeah, I've had some clients ask, should I keep dating on dating sites or on dating apps?
Yeah.
And my answer is always like, sure, just don't go anywhere. Like now's the time you can match with people on dating sites and dating apps. And now's the time to really ask those deep, vulnerable conversations from the comfort of your own home.
So true.
get to know a person, see how creative the two of you or three of you or however many you want, that's your thing. How creative can you get on creating like a online date? Can you cook together? Can you watch TV together? Play a game together? We're really blessed with the internet, so I think that I don't think that dating has to come to a halt just because the pandemic happened.
That's so fun. I love that.
Thanks.
I don't know if you've been seeing it, but I've been seeing on the internet, like people going and checking on folks and like looking at them through the window and just like making sure that they're okay. Like we are all craving community and connection, and we're getting so creative with how we're moving that forward.
Yes. I love that. I haven't, or actually I did see one person in my inner circle that did that.
Really?
Like, oh, it's really sweet.
Aww.
Yeah.
Really fun. I love it. Well, Alysce, this has been incredible. How can people follow up with you, learn more about what you do, who you are? What are some pathways for that?
Yeah. So my coaching Instagram is at the Open Hearts Club. And then my personal is at Alysce Marie. My personal has more going on right now because I'm transitioning with my business Instagram. And then also you can find me on Facebook and message me through there at Alysce Zuliger.
So good. Love it. Can't wait for all your content to start coming out. I know I'm going to be utilizing it, reading it, and downloading all your freebies. So good.
Yes.
So we are so excited to be on day 5. Tomorrow's day 6. We're going to get with Pam. She's going to share us some tips and tricks on how to like keep your body moving and what that looks like every day and what that looks like in pandemic mode, to just get up and go, move your body and incorporate wellness into your day. And what does that look like when you're working from home? What does that look like when you have a lot of commitments and all of that? So we're really excited about that tomorrow. And then we've also gotten a ton of questions like, this content is so valuable. How can we support you guys? How can we support the Nest? So we've created a way that you guys can support us and give back to the content that you're seeing, the folks who are coming on and helping us. All of them are Nest members, which is incredible. And so you can still create community where you are by either joining a membership or giving back. And we have a give back button on our website. I will drop the link in the comments. So those are a couple ways that you can support us. And then also by sharing this video, if you really think this resonates with what Alysce was saying with a friend or somebody in your life, make sure that they see it, comment, send it to them, tag them. We just want to provide resources to people and meet them where they're at right now. So awesome. Thanks so much, Alysce. This is great.
Thank you.
Come on again with me. Technology, folks. Okay, cool. Well, here we go. Okay. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.